welcome back to High Functioning Slightly Faded. My name is Julie, and I'm kind of thrilled because I'm going to introduce a new segment today on the podcast that I call Munchie. So, I have gotten some suggestions from some people, like Janie was telling me. She's like, if you could do some shorter episodes that talk about like pop culture stuff and little updates and stuff like that, she's like, I'd love that, especially like if I had a short car ride or whatever. And I'm like, you know what, that's a good idea. And I kind of was like, well, you know, this is the High Functioning Slightly Faded podcast. If I'm making bite-sized episodes, they might as well kind of go into the same theme. So this is a little something different today, but as you'd expect, it's just a bite-sized episode of the podcast, but it has all the energy and fun from the normal episodes, so don't worry. But without further ado, welcome to the first Munchie of the podcast, I guess. But I do have a huge announcement for today that is going to be kind of controversial, especially for you guys that know me. I quit smoking weed. I know. Moment of silence for all the good memories that me and MJ, Mary Jane, have had over the last few years. I'll never forget you. The first time I smoked weed, I remember I was 16 out on the railroad tracks with my friends from high school. I kind of was like, I actually saw one of them recently because he works as an EMT, and I went down to the emergency room to get something for one of my patients, and I saw him and I was like, yo, what's up? Because I've never seen him before at work because I don't work down there, and also it's just like, it's kind of fun running into people that you know really well, just like out and about, because it's like, yo, what's up? It just like kind of makes your day. But and it was good to talk to him. He's doing great. He's going to paramedic school, so I'm like so happy for him. But I kind of was like, damn, it might be kind of fun to get some of my my old squad, I guess, on the podcast. Although it was always like drama with the boys in high school, so it's like it would end up just being the same shit. No tea, no shade. It was always fun, but well, most of the time it was fun, but sometimes there'd be a little drama. But I can be dramatic, so I know that part of it was also me. But yeah, the first time I smoked, I was 16. We were out on the railroad tracks near my friend's house, and because it's like there's nothing else to do in the area we grew up in, but it was definitely fun, and I forever remember that. And I remember, I think the last time I smoked with that group was in the same spot, or like one of the last times, but I remember just being like, damn, this is the first time I ever smoked was with you guys here, like however many years ago it was at the time. Now it's almost fucking 10, which is crazy. I remember one of my friends was like, Julie's gonna be allergic to weed. And it was like, I'm allergic to peanuts and tree nuts. Relax. I'm not allergic to this. Even though I do have bad asthma, I never should have done that. But kidding. In all seriousness, I have quit smoking weed temporarily. So when I say kidding, I just mean the whole quitting smoking weed thing. If you ask Joe, he'd love it to be forever, only because it's only bad when I get sick. But it's like, I'm crazy. Like, I need that. No. But it's like, as some of you guys may know, I have really bad asthma, which on top of the knowledge that I have had so many concussions and everything, you're probably like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you even smoking weed in the first place? But, my back's messed up. It's nice to like relax, that kind of thing. And I'm crazy. I need to be sedated. But it's legal in Massachusetts. But with the whole thing with the asthma is in high school and in college, I've had it since I was like maybe in kindergarten. That's when I was like diagnosed with it. Had to quit indoor soccer because I couldn't breathe in the friggin' Topsfield Fair horse arena that we would play in. And it's like been an issue for my whole life. And when I got a little older, like in high school and in college, I just started getting sick all the time. And I would have to miss like a month of school, work, sports, everything, because I just got so sick. Like, and it might sound crazy and it might sound like a lie, but it is kind of true that a lot of the times that I got sick, it would always be during periods of time where I wasn't smoking weed. So my argument was always like, well, I haven't been smoking any weed for a year, and now I have fucking pneumonia, versus when I was smoking not every day, because in high school I was never doing that. I was a goody. But when I was smoking on the regular, like I never got sick. I was fine. But it's like, girl, come on. Like, let's get it together. But I've had a lot of lung infections, pneumonia, all that fun stuff. And the last few years, I've had a good streak, thank God. Even like the 2 times I've gotten COVID, I didn't really have asthma side effects of that. Like one time I did feel like I was just like gonna die because I just like slept because I just had fevers for like a week. So I just was like, oh my God, am I even alive right now? Like that fever dream state I was in. And my foot was broken, so I wasn't going anywhere. But then the other time I got it was just like a sinus infection. And luckily, like, well, but I do have inhalers and nebulizers and stuff that like, and obviously I'm not an idiot. Like if it's really bad, I'm not going to be doing like stupid shit. or you would hope I wouldn't be. But right now, I'm definitely not smoking. So as many of you guys know, I just went on my 10-year bestie-versary, Tinfinity with my BFF Sarah and Janie, who we met at summer camp 10 years ago, and we went to Charleston, South Carolina for the weekend. Real weed is illegal down south, and like we did buy these weed like shots or whatever. They were like drinks, because I was like, I don't like smoking this fake weed shit because it like it's irritating. And I also was like, I already knew this was gonna be kind of like a tea break weekend. Like, it's fine, Sarah doesn't smoke, like whatever. But it was such a great time. The trip was so fun, and I was like, we're mostly gonna be drinking anyways. I don't need to be doing all that. But I felt like my allergies were kind of bad down there the second day, and so I hadn't even been like. Allegedly, I did bring a Pax with me. Allegedly, I might have if I had owned one and maybe wanted one to come with me, but. I wasn't even ripping that because my allergies, my asthma were just bad straight up down there. But I am allergic to cockroaches, and I didn't know they were like such a big thing in the South. But the French Quarter in Charleston definitely had some on the sidewalk, But it was such a good time down there. I just felt like my allergies were so bad, and it was weird. But then one night we were like, okay, we're gonna go to like a club one night, just like something fun. And like it wasn't really like a club, like it was called that, but it was just like a rooftop bar, and it had like a cool porch and stuff. Thank God, because they had a smoke machine, and so it's like the beat would drop, and I'd be like, oh my God. Once I figured out it was there, because we would not have gone if we knew that. I know that shit bothers me. One time in high school, I went to a Halloween party, and the girl was like rich, obviously, because her parents, they got like a smoke machine and had it in the garage, and it was a really fun time, except for I'm like talking too fast and making myself like lightheaded. Except for I had to leave because it bothered my asthma so much, the smoke machine, and then a few days later it developed into pneumonia. So we went to this bar in South Carolina, had a smoke machine. I was coughing so hard on the porch, I thought I was gonna throw up from coughing. It hurt so bad. My whole upper back, I know I'm like kind of slouching right now, but my whole upper back and along my rib cage has been so sore and hurt so bad from coughing. And this was like almost 2 weeks ago that we went. But my asthma was so bad the rest of the weekend. Luckily, I had my inhalers. And luckily I wasn't smoking anything. I got like a Flonase, I got Mucinex and stuff. And when we went to the beach, I felt like fine, honestly. So I know part of it was allergies. But then when I got home, I felt so much better. But I was so tired, and I was sleeping like 16 hours a day. You know yourself, you know your body at some point. Like, if you've had pneumonia, like I have in the lung infections that I've had, like you just know when that shit's coming. Especially like I was getting one every year for like 10 years almost. It was crazy, the amount of fucking school and shit I had to miss. But yeah, so TLDR, we went, it was super fun, but it obviously triggered my asthma. I had a bad asthma exacerbation that then I tried to work one day, and I was coughing so much, and everyone was like, girl, go home. Like, why are you here? And then I called out the next day and went to urgent care. So now I can't work. I'm on a bunch of prednisone, antibiotics, and all that. So obviously, I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to be smoking, but maybe never again. We're going to have to figure this out. But if you got, the chest x-ray at urgent care said pneumonia, that shit turned into that. And then this is where I am now. So I'm pretty much, all I can do is barely sit around my apartment. Even today, like a few days out, like I've been so tired. Like if I was walking around, I wouldn't even be able to be talking this much because I'll just get so lightheaded and cough so much. But I just like took my inhalers and shit, and then I took a bath like to breathe that steam in. So I'm feeling a little better right now. And a little bit of a you guys are gonna be jealous of me moment. My boyfriend has a boat. Ooh, moment of silence. And he's not a MAGA person. So it's like I'm winning. I'm winning here with this situation. But his parents finally fixed their boat after it was been fucked up for the last few years that we've been dating. And so it's the first time. And like, I want to go on the boat so bad, but I haven't been able to because like just our work schedules weren't lining up. And then I was sick, and like, I'm still probably too sick to go on it, but I'm trying to gaslight myself. Like, well, the air is going to be fresher on the water. It might not be as fresh as like the AC in my clean apartment, but I'm going to go on for sunset. But I did say to him, I'm like, let's go get the key from your mom. And then if I feel like shit on the way over, then we'll just put a pin in it. But I'm really hoping we can go on just to watch the sunset, because I have done nothing but just sit and like I couldn't even watch TV today half the day because I was so fucking tired. Like, it's crazy how exhausted you get from this shit. But this is supposed to be a bite-sized episode, and I'm just going on a rant, But while weed is illegal in South Carolina, they do have that fake weird weed shit in like the smoking dog 100 milligram weed shots. That's what I drank on the plane, and then was like my eyes were legit closed because I was like, oh my God. But allegedly I was able to bring multiple of those on the plane, and like this fake weed like vape or whatever on the plane, which I obviously haven't even opened or anything like that, but it was a real deal. and everything's so expensive. But allegedly, that's only if that happened, which it didn't. But remember when I went to the Red Sox and they took the cart out of my packs that was like brand new? I was like, fuck you guys. And it's like, it's legal in Massachusetts. I can't just have that shit in my purse. Like, what's the big deal? So lame. Meanwhile, you can get on a fucking plane with that shit. Allegedly. But anyways, enough about me, enough about my sickness. I know nobody wants to fucking hear about that. But let's talk about some other interesting things. So I know I've already talked about Virgin by Lorde a bunch. And I've been like, I love it. It's so good. It always hits home for the summer. It's so good. But like, recently saw the post that her sister made when the album came out. Because I didn't follow her sister. So like, I just hadn't seen it. And you know how Instagram is. It's like, you post something and your friends don't even see it for like 5 days because it's like a weird, I don't fucking know. You know how the algorithm is. It's bizarre now. But it's like the post her sister made talking about the release of Virgin was so cute. And it was just so sister coded. Like, you just got to see it. And like, if you have a sister, you're going to get it. It's just such like a nice touching thing. And she's like, I was with you by your side and everything. And it just like, I just really feel like it spoke to me as a multiple sister person. But I love it. It was so cute. That was on my list of things that made me cry. And then Stephen Colbert's show being canceled. He recently, if you guys aren't following this, I don't know what the fuck's going on in your lives because it's been all over the news this week, but he rightfully made some negative critique against Trump on air. And he has in the past before, like everybody fucking has. Like, come on, what are we going to be silenced by this guy? But they have the top ratings right now. And CBS recently, they did get sued earlier this month or something and had some kind of settlement. And then when he speaks out about it, obviously Trump's like, he already has said he hates Colbert. Like, even after this announcement, he's like, oh, Colbert got a show canceled. Jimmy Kimmel's next. It's like, relax. It's like, if you stayed on TV, maybe you could have had one of those shows, you bozo. But like, you wanted to be a psycho dictator president. But this is like totally a sign of authoritarianism. It's upsetting. If you're not awake right now and you don't see anything wrong with the situation, you need to fucking wake up. And some people are like, well, why is Stephen Colbert going to continue the show through May and like May 2026 when it's going to be canceled? And it's like, maybe because he has 200 people plus probably working for him that they're not going to do The Late Show. And they're saying it's because they don't have enough money, but the show is has top ratings right now. And pretty much always has, I think, throughout the duration of it. People fucking love that show. And it is good. All the clips and stuff I've seen of it, but you guys know I don't have cable. But it's like, it's just so fucked. And it's like he speaks out against Trump. And then so CBS is like, well, we had the missing money is coming from this lawsuit that we had to settle with him for. So yeah, we're just going to say that it's because of money, even though it's not. It's just fucked. Like, if this isn't a problem to you, it should be. And like, he's a devout Catholic, and so you'd think that the religious community would want to speak up about this. And I know from personal experience, I know from fucking history classes, the American WASP situation, they famously do not fuck with Catholics. Like, Irish people, like, really weren't even considered, like, white people until, like, 100 years ago, which was really not that long, in America. And it's like, what? And it's like, because they don't fuck with the Catholic vibe, I guess. And it's obviously colonizer and every other fucking thing, but there's these people online, you see them and they're like, they're trying to silence religious people and all this other stuff, because whenever anyone that's like a MAGA person gets canceled for anything, it's like they just don't want us speaking about our religion and everything. It's like, that's not the case. You just want to be discriminated against so bad. But then these same people are silent when a very publicly devout Catholic person wrongfully gets his TV show canceled, and that means everyone that works for him is going to lose their job too. So at least they'll also get paid for however long if he keeps the show going, which he's going to. So that's kind of the right thing to do. I don't know. It's like, I could go on about this forever, but this is supposed to be a Munchie episode, and I'm too sick. Like, I'm like, I'll probably edit this to cut out a couple coughs here and there, but I'm just getting myself too riled up, and I'm too sick right now. But moving on, I've had some recent thoughts about manifestation and stuff, and like, we've all been there. A few years ago, during the pandemic, I feel like I was doing a lot of manifesting. Like, I literally would be like, okay, if this blah, 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 then he's going to Snapchat me back before noon today. And then it would literally be like, or noon 05. And I'd be like, oh, thank God. And it'd be like, just like some stupid shit I knew was going to happen. Because it's like me just trying to validate, like, should I go to this party this weekend? Well, actually, that's not what I was doing because it was the pandemic. But you know what I mean? That kind of thing. I can't think of a good example right now. But I've had some thoughts about manifestation recently, especially because people that are trying to promote these alternative religions and spirituality and all this other stuff. And I'm not saying this like it's a bad thing or anything else. It's just, it happens. It's happening online, Like, I'm just saying it because it is true. It is happening. But it is turning into a cash cow and all this other stuff. But there are good things about all these things. I mean, obviously, some of with religion, like, I have this big perspective on it that I have a mixed perspective and a mixed experience. I grew up Irish Catholic. My family's very religious, but the whole thing with the sexism and the controlling and everything else and seeing how other religions are that are even more controlling, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm Catholic and you guys act like I'm crazy conservative. And I'm like, you guys are way, way stricter about the craziest shit. And then like you always see the people that are like escaping Mormonism and stuff, and it's like, it's just like sick when you see the multiple wives, and it's just like, the Scientology. You guys know that you guys got to watch the Scientology documentary on HBO. I forget what it's called. It was fucking crazy, and it obviously there's a lot of things I already knew about it because I've looked into it before, but that was fucking crazy. And like the whole thing is like, and then you get to a certain point and then they're like, oh, this is what the top of the religion is and this is what we keep a secret, and it's all just like sci-fi book that this fucking crazy guy wrote. Then he like wanted to have power over these people. And again, this is supposed to be a Munchie and I'm going on and on and on. I'm gonna do a full religion and politics episode because you guys know I just can't stop talking about it. But another good one on HBO, it's about a cult, is okay, yeah, Love Has Won, The Cult of Mother God. That is one of the craziest fucking documentaries I've ever watched. And sometimes I find documentaries boring, I'm not gonna lie. I do like some of them and I'll get really into them if it's a good one, but some of them I'm like, why did they even make this? No, but this one was fucking crazy. It is like trigger warning. You see like a mummified woman, it's fucking crazy. The whole thing is fucking disgusting and creepy and so crazy, and they're drinking fucking blue shit that turns their skin blue. I forget what that stuff's called, but I don't know. But anyways, my whole thing with religion, and obviously there are people that take advantage of this and everything else, as you see with cults and stuff like that, and strict religions that are like, who the hell knows? Who knows? But religion for a long time was like the main way for people to be introduced into mental health and therapy techniques, and because for centuries, I mean, and I'm again coming from a Catholic basis, so there are probably other things in other religions, but this is like, even like with Muslim people, like where they have to pray at certain times of day and stuff, like that's really good meditation and things like that, and like practicing these things throughout your routine, and like checking yourself during the day. Like I mean, I don't know as much about it because it's not my religion, but that's kind of my perspective on that, and I'm kind of like, these are all good things that you're promoting in these ways. But with that, it's like centuries, I guess it's like thousands of years at this point, of people doing confession with the priest, and how it's self-reflection and giving forgiveness and letting things go, and meditation and mass, prayer, all that shit, doing the rosary. Like these things are like when people say the mantras in the mirror and like do these repeating things. And like I do think that some things, like they feel like doing the rosary was a lot of people's OCD thing that they would do, because I come from a family with a lot of people with anxiety, and it'll literally be like, do the rosary if you're stressed or you got a test or whatever. And it's like, it is good as a tool to have there and everything else, but I'm sure some people, when there was no meds and diagnoses and stuff, were, I can only imagine, were rubbing the shit out of that rosary bead just to try to get through the day. It's sad though. But that was a main place that you would get mental health support, and that's also probably part of the reason that it would be like, because you're acting fucking crazy, the devil's getting in you, you know? And obviously, I'm not stupid. I know that there's a lot of corrupt things in the churches. I know about the sexual abuse, and everyone's gonna be like, oh, Catholic people, blah, 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 whatever. But it's like, I'm aware. I wasn't born yesterday. I know, and I'm acknowledging all these things are horrible, and that gives us all kind of a complicated relationship with this. But if you think of it like anthropologically, which again, I'm not an anthropologist, unless you're talking about anthropology. But the church for thousands of years really was like the main place for us to get mental health support and learn these mental health management tools, and like teach kids things growing up that a lot of times like help you as an adult, like, you know, not acting out in anger, you know, don't fucking sleep with someone else's wife, like things like this are messed up. And a lot of this overlaps with what we talk about mental health care now, and it's just interesting to think about it like that, you know. But then it's obviously things are abused and everything else, with people wanting power, control, sexism and stuff, homophobia. In the same vein though, manifesting, and getting back to why I even was talking about this and all that stuff, a lot of spirituality practices are kind of the same thing. Like obviously it's not necessarily all the same as an organized religion or whatever, and that's like their whole thing is they don't want that, and that's fine. But a lot of the things that they take from these that are similar and everything else, and like what people did do in pagan religions, like there's all overlap here, and a lot of this is based on mental health and like taking care of that when we didn't have the otherwise means to do so. But I feel like with manifesting, and it's just like an interesting thing I've been thinking about recently, a perspective on it is like, it's definitely a tool to help you gain confidence and kind of motivate yourself. And it's like, whether you believe the manifestation part is real or actually works is another story. But I do feel like, especially for young women who may be trying, because everyone's always like, confidence is sexy. And it's like, it is sexy, but obviously, like, if you got a blowout and your makeup looks good, you're going to look sexy then too. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I mean, you will, but people are always pushing that you want to gain confidence. Men like confidence. You know, you're in high school and you want to read those books, or like maybe you don't want to, but you read those books that are like promoting confidence in young women and stuff, because all society does is fucking tear them down. And men too. We all need to gain some confidence. But I feel like a big thing that people have been using as a tool, and I didn't really think of it like this, but I almost feel like I kind of did the same thing, is to gain confidence and like motivate yourself. You can use manifestation, and like whether you believe the manifestation part is real or not is another story. But I do feel like, especially for young women and young men who may be trying everything and not succeeding in the confidence department, because it can be hard, especially when if you have low self-esteem, or you're in an unhealthy environment, or you have unhealthy habits with your body and eating and everything, it makes it very hard. But putting that good energy into the universe and like almost trying to, like, it almost takes the stress off you, because you're like, all right, I'm gonna let the universe take care of it, or like I'm gonna let God take care of it. But it takes some strain off you, and all. But so like that helps, and already taking the pressure off. But then when good things do start to happen, you kind of start to trust yourself and your intuition, and then your confidence builds through that, and then the more of a confident person you become, the more successful you will be, and things like that, because people see that and they do love that. But I don't know if that even makes sense to you guys, or if you're like, Julie, you're just talking a lot of bullshit. Stop taking edibles. Stop stop doing all this, like you're not some kind of prophet. I don't think that, but I don't want to sound preachy, but it's just something I've been thinking about, an interesting concept. But hopefully maybe it reaches someone who maybe is needing a little confidence boost and really think of that like that. Also, this is a core memory, and this is going to reach out to my Zillennial crowd, but I saw a video on Instagram that uncovered a core memory for me. Like, it's so ingrained in there, probably more so than any memory I have with my family. No, I'm just kidding. But that life-changing shark in the water, like, baby, there's a shark in the water. The Carnival Degrassi commercial. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Well, if you don't agree, prove me wrong. That commercial defined a generation. I don't even think I ever watched Degrassi like that, because I was kind of on the young side. My parents didn't fuck with us watching the inappropriate shows. But I had older siblings, and we'd watch an MTV for other stuff, and like it would be on that commercial over and over again. And it was just so catchy, and like it was just like the whole thing, the whole vibe. It was like, that is what I always imagined going to high school in like 2008 to 2010 must have been like. I mean, that's what they're going for, right? All right, so spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, but you all know I'm gonna be talking about the first 2 episodes of Summer I Turned Pretty, and I'm waiting for the next one to come out tomorrow. But okay, I just want to talk about really quick. Everyone looks so hot this season. Everyone. Every character does. Like, I'm mad at Jer too, guys, but we can't act like he's not hot. Conrad, I love him. Steven, Taylor, they both look great. I'm like, Taylor, let us see your boobs. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But Belly looks absolutely amazing. Her makeup looks so good. The eyeliner is perfect in every scene, every outfit. She looks amazing. She really is shining this season. And I think it really stands out, because I just finished my rewatch last night of the first 2 seasons. I think it kind of especially stands out because the makeup in the second season really wasn't as great as the first. Like, a lot of it was like heavy and unnatural looking. But I didn't read the books either, so you guys have to keep that in mind. Just like when I am talking about some of these things with the show, obviously not with the makeup and stuff, but like just some of the things that are surprising to me, because I didn't read the books. But Staylor are playing with my heart, low-key. And I did not expect Steven to almost die. And I was like sobbing with Taylor when she was at the bedside, like, I love you, and blah, 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 I'm gonna go break up with my man or whatever. I'm just happy he's okay. But then when he woke up and he was like, you're right, Taylor, I was thinking about what you said before the accident. I was like, Steven, I'm gonna fucking choke you out right now. But his hair is serving this season. I don't know if anyone else has been thinking that. I love them together. I love their vibe. They're so fucking cute. I love Conrad. You guys know I'm team Bonrad all the way through. And it's like, it just sucks, because it's like, I get that, like, this is the whole thing, is like the books were all about this, but like, I love Belly and Jeremiah's relationship as friends, and like, I'm not even anti them being together, but it's like, Conrad and Belly were dated first, and she was like so in love with him. I couldn't, as someone with a close sibling to my age, like, I could never do that. And I just like, I don't know, the whole thing is just so crazy to me, but I love them as friends, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure Bonrad ended up together, because I see all this shit on Instagram and everything else, and like, I'm just manifesting because I love them. But I don't know. I feel like it's hard for me to be like, well, how are they even going to move on past this? Because I feel like I love Belly and Jeremiah as friends, and like I love that relationship they have, and I love how they're like our twin connection or whatever, or they have the ESP, because it's like, it's just so cute, and I'm happy that they have each other in that way. But now I'm like, how they're engaged now. Oh my god, I'm like, Joe's like never seen the show before, but except for he said he hadn't. But then when I was starting the rewatch a couple weeks ago, he was like, "Wait, I've seen this show," and I was like, "Yeah, like when the last season came out, I did make you watch, did make you watch some episodes with me." But now he's more into it because I've been legit forcing him to be. And he came home from work the other day when me and T were watching the first 2 episodes, and we were like, crying. Tara's like, "You're way too into this right now," and I'm like, "I'm sorry, I'm into the show. I hate me for it." I can't wait to see what they're doing with the season. The soundtrack is spectacular as always, and they all look so good. I love it. I love the show. It's so good. I can't wait to see where it's going. But it is like, I'm like, just release it all at once so I can binge watch it. But I guess I'll have something to talk about on my munchies if not. But okay, some obsessions I have right now. Because do you think I was gonna go through an episode without doing a slightly obsessed list? I don't fucking think so. But I finally started watching Running Point with Kate Hudson and Brenda Song, and they slay, and I fucking love it. And like, it's one of those shows I was saying that like sometimes I'm watching something else at the time, or everyone's just talking about it, and I just don't get around to watching it. I like don't know if I should look at myself in the camera or if I should look at myself on the screen, because when I haven't really filmed an episode like this other than when I did it with Jake, and then I did film the one with Megan, but then it was like too big of a fight. It's been, I can't even get into it. It was just giving me some problems when I was trying to edit it and everything else. That's why that didn't come out as clips. But this was different because I'm filming this on Riverside where I record everything. So looks like I had better luck so far with the episode with Jake. That's actually going to come out after this one does. But I just don't know where to look. So if you're watching the video and you're not sure, though, I don't know. But I finally started watching Running Point. Everyone had said it was so good. It was like a top show on Netflix, but I finally started watching it. And it actually is really good. And I told Joe, I was like, started watching the show, but I know you're going to love it too. So I'm going to wait till you get home to keep watching, you know. But I love Kate Hudson. I love Brenda Song. The guy, I don't know what his name is. I'm totally blanking. But he was on the other two on HBO about like the little brothers. Supposed to be kind of like Justin Bieber. I love him. And he's on this. He's one of the brothers. He's so good. And my man from Insecure with Issa Rae, I'm again blanking on his name, but I literally just like watched the first 20 minutes of the episode and paused it and then started filming this. I love him. Actually, you know what? Let's go with this. Another obsession of mine, if you haven't seen it, is Insecure, which is also on HBO. Running Point is on Netflix, but these other shows I'm mentioning are all on HBO. It is so good. And Lawrence, I love him. Issa was low-key playing that first season. I'm like, Issa, I'm gonna kill you. But it's so good. If you haven't watched it, you gotta watch it. It is such a good show. I recommend it totally. Another good show with a good soundtrack. Obviously, everyone's been talking about David from Virgin, which I've already shouted out. But I love that song, so I'm gonna shout it out again because I keep seeing edits up for The Summer I Turned Pretty, and I saw a really good edit that was like the Taylor Swift from the and Post Malone from the Fortnite video compared to clips of Taylor and Joe from the Reputation, Lover, that whole era, and I was like, this is really sad. But I love that song. It is so fucking good. Good Neighbors podcast. I love them. If you guys haven't listened to them or you don't watch any of their shit, they're hilarious. And I've been listening to podcasts actually for a while, and it definitely is an inspo for me to start doing this too. But I commented on their Insta today because they were saying like people that are gluten-free should get $1,000 a month. People that have a peanut allergy, $1,500 a month. And I commented and I'm like, I got a peanut and tree nut allergy with an expired EpiPen. Little did they know it expired in January of 2024, and I didn't realize until right before I left for my trip. So oops, I gotta get a new one, but they're expensive, you know. And they were like, they just said, they responded to my comment something back, and then they liked it, and I was like literally like fangirling low-key because I do I do love them. Yeah, as you can tell now that I've been talking so much, I'm gonna start going into a coughing fit. But I just want to shout them out in case I haven't mentioned them yet on the podcast because I do fucking love them. The song Butterfly by Rena is so good. Come on. Do I Ever Cross Your Mind by Somber? You know I'm going to shout him out as all of his songs come out, as I fucking love that tall kid. I don't know what it is. I just love his music. Swag by Justin Bieber has been released since the last time I recorded an episode, and I just want to say it was so fucking good. I love it, but I need a sweet spot with just Justin, or like get SZA on it or something. Like, Sexy Red's just doing a little too much for me, and I fucking love that song. It's a hit. But okay, guys. So that is all I have for you today. I need to go lay down because I'm getting lightheaded from talking too much, even though I have pneumonia. I don't know why I'm even doing this, but I gotta grind, you know? I gotta grind so when I make it, I can say I put my effort in. I can't even say that with a straight face, but thank you guys so much for listening on the first ever high functioning, slightly faded Munchie episode. Let me know if you guys liked this and if there's ever anything you want me to cover on a Munchie episode or like a normal main episode on the podcast. Let me know. If you have any funny memes or anything you want to send me, send them to me. I'm not saying that every week is a joke. I'm genuinely meaning that. You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at HFSFpod for updates and everything else and like whatever fucking pops into my head, I guess. But have a great weekend, guys, and keep me in your prayers. And please take an extra bong rip for me. God bless. I need it. Bye.